Why is this necessary? This is necessary for the buyer to pay. Most of the time, the buyer wants to be sure of the quality of goods. Alright, you're welcome to another edition of Sharing Trade Information on YouTube. I'm your global trade tutor, and today I'll be talking again about the last time I talked about how to export agro commodity. And as you can see, I already left my chat open if you're familiar with the last session. This time around, to talk about how to export solid minerals. How to export solid minerals. How to export solid minerals. So by minerals now, by solid minerals now, you will know if you are a mineral exporter. I've exported mineral before. I've done lead, I've done zinc, I've done mica, I've done lead, zinc, mica, manganese, copper, lead oxide, lead sulfide. Different kind of products I've tried to export in the past. Minerals. Now, so in today's video, my focus is on how to export minerals. How do you go about exporting minerals? It's extremely important you have a very good understanding of how to go about exporting minerals. You know, the challenge for a lot of people today is trying to go into export business or any business in general, because for me, this is not just about export. It's actually about you understanding what you are going into and ensuring that you don't throw away your money by going into a business that you do not have a good understanding of how it works. And I see that a lot. People coming into export business finding it difficult to learn. Do you imagine someone putting 10 million, 20 million, 30 million? This would be like $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, $100,000 in a business and cannot learn with just $1,000. $1,000 to learn will be an insurance that can help you secure that business and ensure that business do not go bad. And that's exactly what we'll be talking about here. The first thing I would recommend you consider if you're going into export business is for you to prepare adequately. So I'll call it preparation. What happened in the point of preparation? At the point of preparation, what happened is this. What happened in preparation is learning. It's just about learning. Learning to become export ready. You know, I've defined export readiness severally, and I keep defining every time just to help you understand what export readiness is all about. It's a multifaceted concept that involves the ability of a business to successfully enter the export market, number one, sustainably compete in the market, number two, significantly grow its market share until it becomes established in the market, successfully enter, sustainably compete, and significantly grow. So, preparation. How prepare are you for export business? That is an important question you need to answer. Because when you say, I want to export, my challenge is finding buyer. No, your challenge is not finding buyer. Your challenge is preparation. I want to export lead ore, or I want to export lithium ore. My challenge is finding buyer. No, your challenge is preparation. When you know exactly how to prepare, you will know what to do to be able to promote in order to get buyers. So the next is promotion. It's assumed now we already know the product you are exporting. We know the product you are exporting. We know you are exporting a solid mineral. And now, to export that solid mineral, you need to prepare. After preparation is promotion. What do you do with promotion? Promotion is marketing. You need to be able to sell. That means you need to know the country that buy. And by the way, let me tell you straight up, the major buyer of solid mineral in the world is China. China. The major buyers of solid minerals in the world is China. You know, the President Trump just got re-elected, and he said he was going to ban some Chinese goods up to about 60%. China import minerals and sell a lot of these semi-processed minerals to Europe and America. And these are intermediate product and raw material. I'm sure Trump is not going to put 60% on that, because that is good for American system. I'm sure it will be mainly on finished goods that America can produce, that Trump is planning to put 60. 60% tariff. Preparation, promotion. So promotion can be done online. Promotion can be done by attending trade fair. Promotion can be done by getting a representative to work within the export market. Promotion can be done by buying data of buyers in the export market to sell. You buy the data of buyers in the export market to sell the goods to them, and you have to promote yourself to them. So promotion. Now, the goal of promotion is to be able to get a purchase order. The goal of promotion is to be able to get a purchase order, and in the process negotiate pricing. And in the process negotiate pricing. The goal of promotion is to be able to get a purchase order, and in the process negotiate pricing. If I've done my job well at this point, I will know exactly what I need to do to promote, to sell my lead or lead ingot, and I will know exactly what I need to do to be able to get my purchase order. When I get the purchase order, I negotiate price. I will know already if what the incoterm will be. If you are not familiar with incoterm, you can check the previous video. We've discussed, have conversation on incoterms. Incoterm and international commercial terms that separate transaction cost and risk between buyers and seller in international trade transaction. And that incoterm affects your pricing. The incoterm affects your pricing. Then after that has been sorted, the next thing, now I've signed the contract, now I've agreed on my pricing. The next thing for me to be able to export my lithium ore or lead ore is to produce or procure. Production or procurement. Production or procurement. Production or procurement. In production or procurement, what am I doing? In production, I'm mining the mineral myself. I'm beneficiating the mineral myself. I'm crushing the mineral myself. I'm bagging the mineral myself. I'm processing the mineral myself. But in procurement, I'm going to someone who has produced this product to buy the finished goods. Already bagged, already packaged, finished goods. Now, even if I'm buying finished goods, I need to consider this. And this is a very important point. And that is the point of labeling. That's the point of labeling of the goods and packaging of the goods. Packaging and labeling. Packaging and labeling. Why is this very important? Packaging and labeling. Why is it very important? The way I package should be based on what I agree with the buyer. The way I package should be based on what I agree with the buyer. The buyer might say package it in 20 kg bag or package it in 50 kg bag. Some country you see a big sack, 1 ton sack, 2 ton sack that you have to carry with forklift that will be used to carry the goods. So that kind of stuff, because in a 20-feet container you have about 25 tons or 26, 27 tons. So you might have about, if you have a 5 ton bag, you might have just 5 bags and the container is already filled up. Very big, massive sack that's used to carry this thing. So packaging and labeling. Now that the good is ready for shipment, the next thing is to do my pre-export documentation. Now, in some country, because I'm exporting minerals, I will need some peculiar document. For example, if you are in Nigeria, you will need mineral trading license. Apart from the export declaration form, otherwise called NXP. Apart from pro forma invoice. Apart from the export license. All these documents are necessary and important, but in addition to this document, you will need a mineral trading license. If you are doing commodities, agro commodities, you will need, for example, fumigation certificate, forget certificate. So you need pre-export documentation. Now, when this document has been done, because this document is basically helping me to apply to the government that I want to export, the next thing is pre-export documentation. Next thing is port clearance and shipment. Port clearance and inspection at the origin country. Port clearance and inspection Port clearance and inspection at the country of origin. Port clearance and inspection at the country of origin. Port clearance and inspection at origin country or port of loading. Port clearance and inspection. Why is this important? Why is port clearance important? Why is this important? Port clearance and inspection. The country have regulation to be sure of what is going out, to be sure the item are not contraband. So those clearance and inspections are done. Now at this point, the good will now be cleared for export. The good is allowed to be shipped after all the agency of government have done their inspection and all the documents are intact and every other thing has been said. Now the good is cleared to be loaded on board the vessel. So what happens next? Post-export documentation. When the goods are gone, post-export documentation. When the goods have gone or when the goods have been shipped, post-export documentation. Remember, pre-export documentation are required to clear the good for export, to meet the local regulatory requirement in the exporter's country. Pre-export documentation. But post-export documentation are required when the good has been shipped, and they are required to meet the regulatory requirement of the importing country, like bill of lading, like invoice, like packing list, and any other document that the buyer require at destination. As a matter of fact, if this is wrong, if something is wrong with this document, now the reason why in a letter of credit transaction the bank will not pay because of what is called discrepancy is because this document is inconsistent with the term of the LC or the contract between buyer and seller, and because it's a critical document that allows the exporter to have access to the goods. It's a critical document that allows the exporter to have access to the goods. It is a critical document that allows the exporter to have access to the goods. Then a bank can choose not to pay if these documents are discrepant. Look at what happened next. Is port to port shipment. In fact, let me put presentation here. In another video I put port to port, but it really does not matter. Presentation of documents. While that is going on, there is port to port shipment. Port to port shipment, either by sea or by air. Port to port shipment. So document is sent via courier to the buyer or to his bank, depending on the payment method. It will go to the buyer if it's advance payment or open account. It will go to the bank if it's due for collection letter of credit. And if you are doing a shipment to China, you can easily get a letter of credit. So it goes to the Bank of China, but the good is in transit. Now, remember the document has been sent to the buyer. So when the good arrive for the port shipment, what will happen next? There will be destination inspection. You see what happened here? You know, this happened at the loading port. This happened at the loading port. The same thing is happening at the destination port. Just the way the exporting country check the quality of the good before shipment, is also going to check upon arrival at destination. So let's look at it. So you have port clearance inspection at destination. Port clearance and 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 inspection at origin. Port clearance and inspection at destination. Why is this necessary? This is necessary for the buyer to pay. Most of the time, the buyer wants to be sure of the quality of goods. The buyer wants to be sure of the quality of goods. Remember, we are shipping lithium oil to China. Lithium oil is being shipped to China. Number one, preparation. I want to export lithium. What does it take to export lithium? What information do I require to export lithium? Preparation. After preparation, promotion. I promote to be able to get buyers, either physically or virtually, purchasing data, whatever it is. Promotion. Then purchase order. What happened at the point of purchase order? Because I'm able to promote effectively based on the knowledge I acquired during preparation, I'm able to get purchase order of a buyer in China, and then I negotiate pricing with them and sign the contract. When that is done, I can go and do my procurement or production. Remember, at the point of preparation, I also know the packaging required. I also know the pre-export documentation. When the good is ready, I do the packaging and labeling, do my pre-export documentation based on regulatory requirement. Then port clearance and inspection is done at origin. Then I do my post-export documentation. Post-export documentation shall be document required by the buyer to clear the good. Then I have my presentation of document, which basically involves sending document by courier to the buyer or to his buyer, depending on the payment method. Port shipment is done, and then port clearance and inspection, and then payment. I believe you have learned one or two things about how to export your solid minerals to China or to any other markets around the world. My name remains Delayemi, but please remember to drop a question in the comment section if you have a question for me. See you in the next video, and bye for now.